When a man is into you, one of the most obvious signs is that he tries to impress you. This can show up in many ways, from how he talks to how he acts when you're around. He wants you to notice him, to see him as interesting, capable, and desirable. Even if he doesn't say it out loud, his actions will reveal that he's putting in extra effort to make sure you see him in the best possible light. One of the most common ways he tries to impress you is by showing off his skills or talents. If he's good at something, whether it's playing an instrument, speaking another language, or excelling at sports, he'll find a way to let you see it. He might casually bring it up in conversation or demonstrate his abilities in a way that seems natural, but deep down, he's hoping you'll be impressed. If he's in a social setting and knows you're watching, he may put extra energy into whatever he's doing just to stand out. Another way he tries to impress you is by talking about his achievements. He might mention his career success, his future goals, or experiences that make him seem adventurous or intelligent. While some men do this in a way that's obvious, others may try to be subtle about it. Instead of bragging, he might tell a story where his accomplishments come up naturally. If he talks about a challenge he overcame, a trip he took, or a project he's passionate about, he's likely trying to impress you with his ambition, determination, and life experiences. He may also put extra effort into his appearance when he knows he'll see you. If you notice that he dresses sharper, fixes his hair more carefully, or wears cologne when you're around, it's because he wants to look his best for you. Even small changes like straightening his posture, adjusting his outfit, or checking his reflection in a nearby mirror are signs that he cares about how you perceive him. He wants to be attractive in your eyes and make sure you notice the effort he's putting in. Another way he tries to impress you is through his sense of humor. If he's constantly cracking jokes, making witty remarks, or playfully teasing you, he's likely trying to get your attention in a fun and engaging way. He wants to be the reason you laugh, because making you smile gives him a sense of accomplishment. If he notices that you enjoy a certain type of humor, he may adjust his jokes to match your style. A man who likes you will often make an extra effort to be entertaining and keep the mood light and enjoyable whenever you're around. He may also go out of his way to show you his intelligence or knowledge. If he brings up interesting facts, recommends books or movies, or starts talking about topics he thinks you'll find impressive, it's because he wants you to see him as smart and well-informed. He may ask thought-provoking questions or engage in deep conversations to show you that he's someone who thinks deeply and has interesting perspectives. This is especially common if he knows you value intelligence and meaningful discussions. Sometimes he will try to impress you by being extra helpful. If he offers to fix something for you, help you with a task, or go out of his way to make your life easier, it's his way of showing that he's reliable and capable. He wants you to see him as someone you can count on, someone who can be strong and supportive. Even small gestures like carrying something heavy for you or offering advice when you need it are his way of subtly showing you that he's willing to take care of you in any way he can. If he's in a social setting with you, he may also try to impress you by being the center of attention. Some men do this by telling engaging stories, making people laugh, or displaying confidence in group conversations. If he seems to be especially lively when you're around, or makes eye contact with you while telling a funny or impressive story, it's because he wants your reaction the most. He enjoys seeing you enjoy his presence and wants to leave a lasting impression on you. Another common way he tries to impress you is through small acts of bravery or confidence. If he stands up for you, defends you in a conversation, or takes charge in a situation, it's because he wants you to see him as strong and dependable. He may also take risks or push himself out of his comfort zone just to prove that he's bold and adventurous. Whether it's trying a new activity, showing off a physical skill, or stepping up in a leadership role, he's hoping you'll admire his courage and capability. In some cases, a man might try to impress you by showing how well he understands you. He may remember small details about your likes and dislikes, surprise you with something thoughtful, or mention something you said in a previous conversation to show that he was paying attention. If he goes out of his way to make you feel special, whether through compliments, thoughtful gestures, or meaningful conversations, it's a strong sign that he wants to win you over. At the core of it all, when a man tries to impress you, it's because he values your opinion and wants to be someone you admire. Whether through his skills, humor, intelligence, confidence, or kindness, his goal is to stand out in your eyes. He may not always be aware of what he's doing, but his actions reveal that he's putting in effort to get your attention and make sure you see him as someone worth noticing. When a man is into you, one of the biggest signs he can't hide is the way he looks at you. His eyes naturally stay on you. Whether you're talking, laughing, or even just sitting quietly in a room full of people, it's almost as if he can't help but watch you, drawn to your presence without even realizing it. Eye contact is one of the most powerful ways to communicate attraction, and when a man's eyes keep finding you, it's a clear sign that he's interested. You might catch him stealing glances when he thinks you're not looking. Maybe you're in a group conversation, and while everyone else is focused on the person speaking, his eyes keep drifting toward you. Or you might look up and suddenly find him watching you, only for him to quickly look away, pretending he wasn't staring. This kind of eye contact is almost subconscious. He's simply drawn to you, and even when he tries to hide it, his eyes give him away. Another strong sign is when he maintains eye contact longer than usual. If a man likes you, he won't just glance at you and look away immediately. Instead, he'll hold your gaze for a second longer than expected, as if he's trying to create a moment between you. It's an unspoken connection, a way for him to show you his interest without saying a word. These moments can feel intense, almost like time slows down for a second, making you wonder if he's thinking the same thing you are. His eyes may also show a softness or warmth when he looks at you. It's not just about staring, it's about how he looks at you. If his expression softens when he gazes at you, if there's a certain admiration in his eyes, then it's a strong indication that he has feelings for you. His face might relax, his pupils might dilate slightly, and he might even have a little smile forming without realizing it. These small but powerful details show that he's completely focused on you and enjoying every second of it. Sometimes his eye contact might be paired with a shy or nervous reaction. If he looks at you, then quickly looks away with a little smile or even a hint of embarrassment, it means he's aware that he's been caught staring. Some men, especially those who are a little more reserved, might struggle to hold eye contact for long because it feels so intense when they're around someone they're attracted to. He might glance at you, then shift his focus somewhere else, only to look back at you again moments later. This repeated pattern shows that he's drawn to you but might be feeling a little shy about it. Another way his eyes reveal his attraction is when he focuses on you even in a crowded room. If you're at a party, a social gathering, or even just in a busy place, you might notice that he always seems to know where you are. Even if you're not standing close together, his eyes find you across the room, as if he's instinctively keeping track of you. He may not even realize he's doing it, but his attention naturally gravitates toward you. When he's really interested, his eyes won't just stay on your face, they'll follow your movements, watching how you react, how you smile, how you express yourself. If you're speaking, he'll be fully focused on you, not distracted by his phone or what's going on around him. If you laugh, his eyes will light up, showing that he enjoys seeing you happy. It's these little details that show just how much he's paying attention to you. If he's being bold, he might even use eye contact as a way to flirt. He may give you a slow, lingering look, paired with a little smirk, letting you know exactly what's on his mind. Or he might raise an eyebrow playfully, using his eyes to communicate something teasing or mischievous. These little interactions create tension and chemistry, making it clear that he's not just looking at you by accident, he's doing it on purpose. Eye contact can also be a test to see if you're interested too. If he holds your gaze and you hold it back, it can create a moment of mutual attraction. If you smile or give him a playful look in return, it lets him know that you're enjoying the attention. On the other hand, if you avoid eye contact or seem uninterested, he may take that as a sign to pull back. At the end of the day, when a man is truly into you, his eyes will always give him away. No matter how much he tries to play it cool, he won't be able to stop himself from looking at you. His gaze will linger, his attention will be locked on you, and every time you catch him staring, you'll know exactly what's going on in his mind. When a man is attracted to you, one of the subtle but powerful signs is that he starts to mirror your movements. This happens naturally and subconsciously, meaning he probably doesn't even realize he's doing it. Mirroring is a psychological behavior where people copy the body language, gestures, or speech patterns of someone they feel connected to. It's a sign of deep engagement and a way the body instinctively builds a bond with another person. If you notice a man reflecting your movements, it's likely that he feels a strong connection and attraction toward you. You might observe that when you take a sip of your drink, he does the same a few seconds later. If you lean in while talking, he might lean in as well. If you cross your legs, he may shift his position to mirror yours. These small, subtle behaviors are his way of syncing with you, creating a sense of harmony between you both. It's something that happens naturally when people are interested in each other, as the brain recognizes the connection and encourages mimicry to strengthen it. Another way he might mirror you is through facial expressions. If you smile, he smiles. If you raise your eyebrows in surprise, he does the same. If you tilt your head slightly while listening, he might unconsciously mimic that movement. This is a way of showing that he is emotionally in tune with you and responding to your expressions without even thinking about it. It's a sign that he's not just passively listening, but actively engaged in the moment with you. His speech patterns may also start to reflect yours. If you use a certain phrase often, he might start saying it too. If you speak in a soft, slow manner, he might adjust his tone to match yours. People naturally do this when they want to establish rapport and feel closer to someone. If you notice that his way of speaking, the words he chooses, or even his laughter starts to sound a little like yours, it's a good sign that he's subconsciously aligning with you. Another strong indicator is how he adjusts his energy level to match yours. If you're excited and animated, he might become more expressive as well. If you're feeling calm and relaxed, he may slow down his movements and speech to match your vibe. This mirroring of energy is a way to build a sense of comfort and connection. It makes the interaction feel more natural and enjoyable because both of you are on the same wavelength. Physical gestures are another form of mirroring. If you touch your face, he might do the same shortly after. If you gesture with your hands while talking, he may start using similar hand movements. If you shift your weight from one foot to the other, he might unconsciously mirror that as well. These actions create a rhythm between two people, making them feel more in sync. Mirroring can also happen in more subtle ways. If you laugh a certain way, he might start to mimic that without realizing it. If you have a unique way of reacting to things, he might adopt similar reactions. It's as if his body and mind are working together to match your style and mannerisms because he wants to feel closer to you. One way to test if he's mirroring you is to make a small intentional movement and see if he follows. For example, if you lean back in your chair, does he do the same shortly after? If you touch your chin while thinking, does he mimic that gesture? If you suddenly cross your arms or shift positions, does he unconsciously follow? These little tests can confirm whether he's picking up on your body language and reflecting it back to you. Mirroring is a strong sign of attraction because it shows that he's fully present with you. His focus is on you, and his body is responding to your presence in a way that creates a deeper connection. Even if he hasn't verbally expressed his interest, this behavior reveals a lot about how he feels. It's a subconscious way of saying, I feel comfortable with you, I like being around you, and I want to connect with you. When a man mirrors your movements, it's his way of building trust and emotional closeness. It's a sign that he wants to be in sync with you, and his body naturally follows your lead. This subtle yet powerful behavior can reveal more about his feelings than words ever could. When a man is into you, one of the most common ways he flirts is by teasing you in a playful and light-hearted way. This isn't about being mean or making fun of you in a hurtful way, but rather finding little ways to joke around with you to get your attention and create a fun, flirty vibe. Teasing is a way to build a connection, and when a man does it in a charming and playful manner, it's a strong sign that he's interested in you. He might poke fun at something small, like the way you pronounce a certain word, the type of coffee you always order, or how you always seem to get lost even with GPS. These little playful jabs aren't meant to embarrass you, but rather to make you laugh and keep the conversation light and fun. The key is that his teasing is always followed by a smile, laughter, or a certain look that shows he's just messing around and not being serious. If he enjoys joking with you and you find yourself laughing often, that's a great sign that he's using humor as a way to build chemistry. Sometimes he might challenge you in a fun way, turning simple things into playful competitions. Maybe he dares you to race him to the end of the street, bets you can't guess his favorite movie, or playfully argues about who has the better taste in music. These little challenges aren't just for fun, they're a way to keep you engaged and interacting with him. When a man does this, it's his way of creating a special dynamic with you that makes your conversations exciting and memorable. Another way he might tease you is by pretending to be overly dramatic about small things. If you say you don't like pineapple on pizza, he might act shocked and say, "Wow, I don't know if we can be friends anymore." If you mention being bad at a certain game, he might joke, "Oh no, I can't believe I'm hanging out with a beginner." This kind of teasing isn't meant to put you down, but rather to create a playful back and forth that keeps the energy light and flirty. It's his way of keeping the conversation interesting while also testing how you respond to his humor. Some men might even use teasing as a way to gauge your reaction and see if you enjoy the interaction. If he teases you and you laugh, tease him back or play along, he'll take it as a sign that you're interested too. If you seem annoyed or uninterested, he might pull back and adjust his approach. The way he teases can also reveal a lot about his personality. A confident guy might use witty comebacks or light sarcasm, while a more shy guy might use gentle teasing as a way to get your attention without being too direct. Physical teasing can also be a playful way he flirts with you. He might nudge your shoulder, playfully mess up your hair, or challenge you to an arm wrestling match just for fun. These small physical interactions add another layer of connection and show that he's comfortable around you. It's his way of breaking the touch barrier in a light-hearted way while keeping things fun and engaging. Another sign to look for is whether his teasing is balanced with compliments or moments of sincerity. A man who truly likes you will tease you playfully but also make sure to balance it with genuine kindness. He might joke about your clumsiness but then tell you he thinks it's cute. He might tease you about how much you talk but then mention how much he enjoys listening to you. This balance shows that his teasing is never meant to be hurtful but rather a fun way to interact while also letting you know he appreciates you. It's also important to notice if he teases you differently than he does with others. If he jokes around with everyone in the same way, then it might just be part of his personality. But if he seems to have a special kind of teasing just for you, it's a strong hint that he sees you differently. He might go out of his way to find little things to joke about, create inside jokes between just the two of you, or even remember things you've said before just so he can bring them up later in a teasing way. Teasing is a way of creating a special connection, a playful and fun way to flirt without being too serious. It's his way of making you smile, seeing how you react, and keeping the energy between you light and engaging. If a man keeps teasing you in a way that makes you laugh and feel comfortable, there's a good chance he's trying to show his interest while enjoying every moment of your interaction. When a man is attracted to someone, one of the most obvious signs is that he finds subtle ways to touch them. This isn't about making grand or obvious moves, but rather small, natural touches that seem to just happen. These little moments of contact are his way of feeling closer without making it too obvious or awkward. It's something he often does without even realizing it, because when a man is into someone, his body naturally seeks connection. For example, he might brush a stray hair from your face, playfully bump shoulders while walking, or rest his hand on your back while guiding you through a crowd. These are all ways he's trying to create a physical bond without crossing any boundaries. If you notice him touching you in ways that seem natural but happen often, it's a sign that he's drawn to you. Even in group settings, he might find ways to sit close, lightly touch your arm when making a point, or high-five you just to have a reason to make contact. Another sign is how he reacts when you touch him. If he leans in instead of pulling away, it means he enjoys that physical connection. He may also use playful touches like poking you jokingly or squeezing your hand in a light-hearted way. These actions show that he's comfortable being close to you and wants to create a sense of warmth and familiarity. Sometimes a man might not even realize he's doing it. His body just responds to his emotions. When he's into someone, he'll want to close the physical gap, even in subtle ways. If he's laughing and places his hand on your knee for just a second, or if he lingers for a moment when handing you something, these small gestures tell you a lot about his feelings. It's a subconscious way of letting you know he wants to be near you. Even small protective gestures can count as flirty touches. If he places his hand on your back while walking down the street, helps you step over a puddle, or reaches out to steady you if you stumble, these are all ways he's showing interest while also making sure you feel secure around him. These small, thoughtful touches are ways he expresses care and attraction at the same time. If he's especially bold, he might take it a step further with lingering touches. Maybe he holds onto a handshake just a little too long, lets his fingers brush against yours when passing something, or finds ways to rest his hand on your arm when talking to you. These small yet intentional touches are signals that he's enjoying being physically close to you. It's also important to notice if he only does this with you. Some guys are naturally touchy with everyone, but if he seems to have a special way of touching you that he doesn't do with others, that's a big clue. He might not be an overly physical person in general, but with you he makes exceptions. The key to understanding these touches is to look at the bigger picture. It's not about one single touch, but rather a pattern. If he consistently finds small ways to make contact, chances are he's into you. He might not always say how he feels, but his body language does the talking. These touches are his way of creating a connection, showing attraction, and making sure you feel his presence. If you ever want to test it, you can subtly return the touch. Lightly brushing his arm during a conversation or playfully nudging him can tell you a lot. If he reacts positively, smiling or leaning in, then it's a strong sign he's feeling the same connection. If he pulls away or seems uncomfortable, then he might not be as interested as you thought. Ultimately, when a man finds excuses to touch you, it's usually because he wants to feel closer, create a bond, and show his interest in a way that words sometimes can't express.